St Johnstone F.C. is a professional football club based in Perth, Scotland. Although it is officially recorded as being formed in 1884, the club did not play its first game until February 1885. The club's home since 1989 has been McDiarmid Park. St Johnstone won the Scottish Football League First Division, the second tier of league football in Scotland, in 2008 (Euro 09). This gained them promotion to the Scottish Premier League, bringing a return of SPL football to McDiarmid Park for the 2009 Euro 10 campaign, after a 7-year absence. The club have historically floated between the top two divisions of Scottish football, obtaining the reputation of being a yo-yo club. Their traditional rivals are the two Dundee clubs, Dundee and Dundee United, with matches between St Johnstone and either Dundee club being called Tayside derbies. St Johnstone have a stronger rivalry with Dundee than Dundee United. The club has had limited success in cup competitions. After losing at the semi-final stage on numerous occasions, the club won their first Scottish Cup in 2014. It has reached 2 Scottish League Cup finals, losing them to each of the Old Firm clubs. St Johnstone won its first National Cup competition of the modern era in the 2007 Euro 08 Scottish Challenge Cup. The club had previously won the Scottish Consolation Cup in 1911 and 1914, and the B Division Supplementary Cup in 1949. They have competed in European competitions on 4 occasions via finishing high enough in the league table to qualify. Their highest position overall was 3rd place on 3 occasions, 1971, 1999 and 2013. History. Origins. The club was formed by members of the local cricket team seeking to occupy their time once the cricket season had finished. The cricketers were kicking a football around the South Inch, a large public park beside the River Tay during the autumn of 1884. This is widely acknowledged to be the date of the formation of St Johnstone Football Club, although it wasn't until early in the following year that a group of footballers, led by John Colburn, held an official meeting that led to the formation of the club as a separate entity rather than a spin-off of the cricket club. Football was becoming more popular, and although there were several local teams playing the sport, including Fair City Athletic, Erin Rovers and Caledonian, it was St Johnstone that became the club most associated with the town that gave the club its name. The symbol associated with John the Baptist is a part of the St Johnstone Club crest. Club members leased a piece of land adjacent to the South Inch, known as the Recreation Grounds, which became the club's first home. After several decades and regular problems with flooding it became clear they had outgrown those grounds, so, in 1924, they moved to the other side of Perth and built McDiarmid Park, which would serve as their home for the next 65 years. The club historically has had little success in national competitions. Prior to winning the Scottish Cup in 2014, its only cup successes were limited to successes in the Consolation Cup, a competition for clubs knocked out of early rounds of the Scottish Cup in 1911 and 1914. The club have also appeared twice in the Scottish Challenge Cup final, losing 1 Euro 0 to Stranraer in 1996, and winning the trophy in 2007 with a 3 Euro 2 victory over Dunfermline in St Scottish Cup win came after 7 semi-final appearances dating back to 1934. It has never won the top league. There have been 2 appearances in the final of the League Cup, losing first to Celtic 1 Euro 0 in 1969 and 2 Euro 1 to Rangers in 1998, with Canadian internationalist Nick Dasovic scoring for Saints. Willie Ormond era. In terms of the league, the club's highest ever finish has been 3rd place in the Old First Division, which occurred on 2 occasions. The first was in 1970 Euro 71, when Saints finished behind Celtic and Aberdeen but ahead of Rangers. The team was mostly the 1969 League Cup team, managed by Willie Ormond, who eventually went on to manage Scotland. The club had some notable players during this period, who later went on to success at other clubs such as Henry Hall, Alex MacDonald, John Lambie, John Connolly, and Jim Pearson. This 3rd-placed finish led to a European adventure in the UEFA Cup, beating German giants SV Hamburg and Hungarians Vasas Budapest before finally going out in Yugoslavia to NK Zielona Sarajevo. The club continued to play in the top division of the Scottish Football League until reconstruction in 1975, but were relegated from the new Premier Division in its first season. McDiarmid Park South Stand is named the Ormond Stand in his honour. Relegations and rebuilding. It took Saints until 1983 to return a Euro, albeit for a single season a Euro, before setting a record through suffering two successive relegations in 1984 and 1985. They eventually found themselves bottom of the entire league in 1986 and skirted with financial oblivion, before local businessman Jeff Brown stepped in. An unprecedented change in the club's focus occurred over the next decade or so, with the move from long-term home Wharton Park to the new purpose-built McDiarmid Park on the outskirts of the city, the first purpose-built all-seater stadium built in the United Kingdom. The new stadium was named to recognise the donation of land by local farmer Bruce McDiarmid. This, plus the input of significant transfer funds and the appointment of manager Alex Totten, spurred Saints through the leagues. They obtained promotion to the First Division in 1988. Saints then won the First Division Championship and promotion to the Premier Division in 1990 during the first season of football at McDiarmid Park. Saints finished 1990 a Euro 91 in 7th place, but their season was buoyed by an appearance in the Scottish Cup semi-finals, in which they lost to Dundee United. The following season proved to be Tottenham's last at the helm, an 8th-placed finish bringing to an end his 5-year reign as manager. He was succeeded by John McClelland for the 1992 a Euro 93 season. The Irishman didn't fare much better, however, leading the club to 6th place. Another semi-finals cup appearance, this time the League Cup, sweetened the campaign slightly. St Johnstone's 4-year run in the Premier Division came to an end in 1993 a Euro 94, a 10th-placed finish sending them back to the First Division. McClelland left the club before the season ended, and was replaced by former Dundee United striker Paul Sturrock. Success in the 1990s. Under Sturrock's stewardship, more emphasis was placed on the club rearing its own players. This bore fruit in the form of Callum Davidson and Danny Griffin. Sturrock also introduced a Euro, at least in principle a Euro, the concept of morning and afternoon training sessions in an attempt to raise the fitness level of his players. In Sturrock's first full season in charge, Saints finished 5th in the First Division and reached the quarter-finals of the League Cup. In 1995 a Euro 96, he led them to 4th place and a Scottish Cup quarter-final. League success returned in 1996 a Euro 97 with the First Division Championship and a return to the top flight. The club more than held their own in the first season back. Their 5th-placed finish meant they became founder members of the SPL the following season. Although Sturrock soon left for Dundee United, the club found a second golden period in 1998 a Euro 99 under new manager Sandy Clark, when the club finished 3rd in the SPL behind Rangers and Celtic. Saints also reached the final of the League Cup and the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup in that season, losing to Rangers in both competitions. They lost to Rangers in 5 of the 6 meetings between the two clubs that season, but Saints won 3 a Euro 1 in the other game. Their finishing position in the league meant Saints had qualified for the 1999 a Euro 00 UEFA Cup campaign. They started with a 3 a Euro 1 aggregate win in the qualifying round over Finnish side VPS Verasa, but were beaten 6 a Euro 3 on aggregate by French giants AS Monaco in the first round proper. The return leg meant that international stars such as Fabian Buths, John R. Ryes and David Tra Guert played at McDiarmid Park. St Johnstone remained unbeaten at home in European competitions until their tie against FC Minsk in 2013. The new millennium. After a period of steady decline, the club were eventually relegated from the Premier League in 2002. Clark's replacement, Billy Stark, oversaw this relegation, and left the club in 2004 after 2 seasons of varying success. With the club in 8th place after a poor 2004 Euro 05 season under Stark's replacement, John Connolly, Owen Coyle took charge in April 2005, ushering in a promising new period in which St Johnstone earned second-place finishes in 2005 a Euro 06 and 2006 a Euro 07. There was also cup success under Coyle. On November 8, 2006, St Johnstone beat Rangers to a Euro 0 at Ibrox to reach the semi-finals of the League Cup. Stephen Milne scored both of the goals. This was the club's first victory at Ibrox since April 1971. It was also the first time the club beat Rangers in a cup competition, and the first time that Rangers had been eliminated from a major cup competition at home by lower division opposition. On January 31, 2007, Saints were knocked out of the League Cup at the semi-finals stage by Hibs. On April 14, 2007, St Johnstone were beaten to a Euro 1 by Celtic at Hampton in the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup. By then Coyle's name was being linked with managerial vacancies in the SPL. On April 21, 2007, second-placed Saints won 3 a Euro 0 at home to Queen of the South, while table-toppers Gretna played out a goalless draw against the visiting Clyde, which put the Perth club just 1 point behind Gretna. As a result, the First Division Championship was to be decided on the final day of the season. 7 days later, St Johnstone were pipped to the First Division Championship by Gretna, who had led the division for the majority of the season. Saints won for a Euro 3 at Hamilton Academical, but James Grady scored an injury-time winner for Gretna at Ross County minutes after the St Johnstone game had finished. The results maintained Gretna's 1-point lead and they achieved promotion to the Premier League under former Saints player Davy Irons. Owen Coyle left the club on November 22, 2007, to become manager of English club Burnley. Saints a Euro next game, the Challenge Cup final against Dunfermline 3 days later, saw them win their first cup since the Scottish Consolation Cup of 1911, with a 3-2 scoreline. St Johnstone midfielder Derek McInnes was appointed as Coyle's replacement as manager on November 27, 2007, after Coyle's assistant, Sandy Stewart, who had been in charge in a caretaker manager capacity for the Challenge Cup final, decided to follow Coyle south to Burnley. McInnes began as a player-manager. Results to the end of 2007 continued the indifferent form shown under Coyle, leaving St Johnstone in third place, some way behind the leaders. In 2008 the club did, however, reach the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup for the second consecutive season, losing out to Rangers on penalties after extra time. It was the club's 7th appearance in the semi-finals, and their 7th defeat. On May 2, 2009, Saints beat Greenock Morton 3-1 at McDiarmid Park to clinch the First Division title and a return to the Premier League after a 7-year absence. They finished 8th in their first season back. In November 2011, on the same day the club announced the appointment of manager Steve Laumers, it was also announced that club chairman Jeff Brown, the longest-serving chairman in Scottish football, was retiring and therefore stepping down from his post. His son, Steve, was handed control of the club. In June 2013 Steve Laumers left the club to manage Millwall and Tommy Wright was appointed as his replacement. In his first competitive game in charge, Wright leads St Johnstone to a 1-0 victory against Rosenborg BK in Norway. This was the club's first away win in Europe in over 40 years. On April 13, 2014, St Johnstone reached their first ever Scottish Cup final, after defeating Aberdeen 2-1 at Ibrox Stadium. They won the final against Tayside rivals Dundee United on May 17, 2-0 at Celtic Park. European record. St Johnstone have qualified for the UEFA Europa League on 6 occasions. The furthest they have progressed is the third round, which occurred in 1971 Euro 72, their debut season in the tournament. They have not made it beyond the qualifying rounds at the last 3 attempts. Notes: 1R, first round, 2R, second round, 3R, third round, QR, qualifying round, 1Q, first qualifying round, 2Q, second qualifying round, 3Q, third qualifying round. Local rivals: St Johnstone share a Tayside rivalry with both Dundee and Dundee United. It was against the former on New Year's Day 1997 that they recorded their biggest league win in recent memory, 7-2. Players. Current squad as of August 25, 2015. Note: flags indicate national team as defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players may hold more than one non-FIFA nationality. Out on loan Note: flags indicate national team as defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players may hold more than one non-FIFA nationality. Notable players For a list of all St Johnstone players with a Wikipedia article, see category, St Johnstone FC players. In October 2013, the club inducted the first 5 members to its Hall of Fame intended to formally recognise those who have made a significant contribution to the club. Those inducted were Joe Carr, Willie Coburn, Henry Hall, John Brogan and Roddy Grant. The inaugural event took place at a dinner ceremony at Perth Concert Hall. Non-playing staff. Directors coaching staff Honours. League First/Second Division champions, 1923 Euro 24, 1959 Euro 60, 1962 Euro 63, 1982 Euro 83, 1989 Euro 90, 1996 Euro 97, 2008 Euro 09. Cup Scottish Cup winners, 2013 Euro 14, Challenge Cup winners, 2007 Euro 08, B Division Supplementary Cup winners, 1948 Euro 49, Consolation Cup winners, 1910 Euro 11, 1913 Euro 14. Managerial history: St Johnstone has had 24 managers in its history. The longest-serving manager was David Rutherford, although his tenure was interrupted by the Second World War. The club has, on average, appointed a new manager every 4 years. Willie Ormond and Bobby Brown both left Saints to manage the Scotland national team. Prior to Peter Grant's appointment in 1919, the team was picked by committee a practice in wide use at the time. Shirt sponsors. Below is a list of all of St Johnstone's shirt sponsors: 1986 Euro 1989, The Famous Grouse, 1989 Euro 1991, Bona Textiles, 1991 Euro 1998, The Famous Grouse, 1998 Euro 2002, Scottish Hydroelectric, 2002 Euro 2004, Scottish City Link, 2004 Euro 2006, Ngabis.com, 2006 Euro 2008, George Wimpy, 2009 Euro 2011, Taylor Wimpy, 2011 Euro 2015. G.S. Brown Construction, 2015 Euro Present, Invest in Perth, Source. Statistics. Records Team, record home attendance, recreation grounds, 12,000 versus Clydebank, McDiarmid Park, 29,972 versus Dundee, McDiarmid Park, 10,545 versus Dundee. Record win, 13 Euro 0 versus Tulloch, record loss, 11 Euro 1 versus Montrose, longest unbeaten sequence, 21 league matches, record transfer fee paid, £400,000 for Billy Dodds, record transfer fee received, £1,750,000 for Callum Davidson. Individual, most capped player, Nick Dasovic Euro 26 caps for Canada while with the club, record appearances, Alan Mayne Euro 361, most goals, John Brogan Euro 140, most goals in one season, Jimmy Benson Euro 44, most goals in one game, Willie McIntosh Euro 6, source. Average attendances the average league game attendance at McDiarmid Park for the season 2007 Euro 08 was 2,913, which is 27.29% of the 10,696 capacity and up 3.59% on the 2006 Euro 07 season. Past averages, 2014 Euro 15, 4,522, 2013 Euro 14, 3,806, 2012 Euro 13, 3,712. 2011 Euro 12, 4170, 2010 Euro 11, 3841, 2009 Euro 10, 4717, 2008 Euro 09, 3522, 2007 Euro 08, 2959, 2006 Euro 07, 2812, 2005 Euro 06, 2667, 2004 Euro 05, 2414, source. Further reading bibliography, Blair, Doyle B. Bristling with Possibilities, The History of St. Johnstone F.C. Bannerman, Gordon. Saints Alive. St. Johnstone Football Club 5 Years on a High. Sportsprint Publishing, Edinburgh. ISBN 0-85976-346-3. Blair, Alistair. St. Johnstone F.C. Tempest Publishing, Limited pages 128 pp. ISBN 0-7524-2183-2. Slater, Jim. Who's Who of St. Johnstone 1946–1992. McLaren, G. of Saints and Foxes. G. McLaren. ISBN 0-905452-99-2. The Story of Sandy McLaren, written by his son. References. External links, official site, BBC Sports St Johnstone page, with fixtures, results, league table and statistics, the Perthshire Advertiser's St Johnstone page.